Hi guys, it's Jared with Paranormal Now and welcome back to Now News. So today we're going to try something a little different for a little bit of fun. I've recently come across the Sixpenny Handley crop circle and I thought I'd have a go at translating it and seeing how close I possibly get to it and just see what sort of signs and symbols we can pick up and pick apart from it basically. So the first thing I want to start with is the place name. Now, Sixpenny Handley is a derivative from two Anglo-Saxon counties, or hundreds as they were called, back in the day, several hundred years ago, which is Sixpenna and Hendaga, or Hendega. And basically they kind of mean united, or the name sort of derived is united. And also it is a risen land which has been subject to fires, which I think could be possible, a bit of a key here into what is being trying to be translated through the crop circle. The circle shows a 7-pointed star. Now, a 7-pointed star, depending on where you get information from Christian meanings, it basically symbolises protection or creation, and basically in other sort of translations of the 7-pointed star, it is centered around creation, and I believe that is part of what's being sort of shown at the moment. You have a circle in the center of the 7-pointed star with 3 sort of grooves around it. Perhaps the 3 could be a remark to the power of 3, or possibly 3 events that lead to what the 7-pointed star represents. Now, I believe the 7-pointed star represents an event of some kind, maybe an ascension event. So it could be an energetic event, or it could be an event that is basically going to take place here on Earth. So it could be something to do with the land. Now, we've seen the increase in volcanic and earthquake activity on the planet, especially in the last couple of months, especially being in the public domain, in the public consciousness, with what's going on in Hawaii and in Guatemala at the moment, not to mention the other volcanoes that have erupted recently in Indonesia and Japan, among others. Basically, it's quite a crazy one, and I've been inspired by this one. I've been following what's happening in Hawaii, and I've seen people, bless them, lose their homes, and absolutely, it's a miracle how in Guatemala, it's a miracle how more people haven't lost their lives. With the strength of that explosion in Hawaii, it's a miracle how only one person has really been hurt. But like what they were basically saying, when we look at news reports or look at sort of YouTube channels from Hawaii, it's devastating, it's destructive, but it's also the Earth's way of creating new land as well. So there's definitely that link to the sort of creative process there, and I think there's something to do with that, with regarding sort of Earth, the planetary sort of ascension, personally. And the reason I believe that is because of the 7 points that surround the 7-pointed star. Now, essentially, when you think of 7 points in a symbol, you could look at the seed of life, which is basically a smaller version of the flower of life. And the first thing that I get drawn to is the 7 chakras. So it's basically comes out of sort of more sort of ancient sort of religious beliefs, especially from like Hinduism, Taoism, that sort of thing, that we have 7 of these points, energetic points on the body, which the word chakra is translated to wheel. But the Earth as a living being also has these points as well. I know the heart chakra is around Glastonbury area, if I remember correctly, but I will find out and I'll put a link in the description below. That's what I'm drawn to, is that energy flow. So is it a case of like it's creating a more united, a more harmonious energy that is happening? I'm not saying that perhaps the volcanoes are doing that, because obviously it's quite deadly. But is this something that's whatever's happening to Earth, these shifts, these strange weather phenomenons, the alignment of the planets with the sun at the moment, where they're basically just all on the right hand side of the sun, which is starting at the end of May and basically going through till August. We're seeing cracks in the earth, we're hearing large booms going all around the world, we're tracking things on seismographs that are deep beneath the earth and basically going at the speed of orbit. You have wildlife playing up, you have anyone who's sensitive having issues grounding themselves, connecting with the earth's energy. You have all these different things that are happening. I'm actually experiencing a different sort of vibe at the moment where I'm getting a lot of excited. I'm maybe not so excited, I'm looking forward to something, but excited, a lot of charged energy coming up from the earth whenever I'm doing grounding. So is it, I believe it could possibly be doing with something that. And I suppose what sort of compounds that is the circle that separates the 7-pointed star to the 7 points on the star, the 7, what could be symbolising the chakras. Now, I suppose the chakras have got their own individual symbols, so, I could possibly be wrong at the 7 points. Again, not very experienced in doing this. This is my first attempt. So, if you guys have an opinion, please let us know in the comments section below. Check out Matthew Williams' drone footage of this as well. I'll put a link to that in the description below. It is absolutely phenomenal. The drone footage of that, it is tremendous. So the wheel, or what looks like a wheel that's going around the 7-pointed star and sort of connecting them to the 7 dots. Well, if you look at the idea of the wheel in the tarot, it's the shifting or breaking of a cycle. It's either sort of moving forward or moving backwards, depending on basically where the event will take you. And I believe if it's symbolic, that's the word, symbolic. If it's symbolic of creation, and you've got the dot in the middle, which could be in the self, it could be the I, it could be the earth. There's also a link to Venus there as well, and the link to Venus I find quite interesting in a way, because the last time, from what I can gather, Earth and Venus were in alignment astronomically was 2012, which for me personally 2012 was the beginning of a process energetically. It wasn't anything that happened physically, but it was something that happened on a more energetic level. So I don't know, maybe that's the case. So I think that's what it's pointing to. It's pointing to, I believe, more Earth changes to come, and maybe some sort of shift that you might see. And this could represent in many ways. It could be through different things like political shifts, shifts in perception in people. So you've got all these different ways that this could potentially happen. But it's basically an opening, or an opening of the mind, and I guess, and a harmonizing perhaps of the Earth's energy. So that's all for today, guys. Much more to come on the weekend, so please stay tuned to the channel, subscribe to get everything, click the bell for notifications, and please give this video a share if you found it interesting. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you soon for another video. Take care. Bye.